Welcome back to the Plus Side of Nashville. We've been talking about Begin Anew, a program that helps the undereducated and underemployed improve their lives by providing education, mentoring, and resources. Heather Norvell is the executive director of Begin Anew. And before we went to the break, Heather, we were talking about you offer English as a second language.
Yes.
And a lot of the folks who come here from other countries may have a degree in their own country, but because they don't have good English, a very good English vocabulary, they may not get a decent job. So you work with them on that. How do you do that?
So we test them when they first come in, and obviously a test for English as a second language looks something like a lot of pictures.
Oh yes, I guess
because you have to assess, do they know any English whatsoever?
Right.
And sometimes they can speak broken English, and so we can do more than just the pictures to assess where they are. But we assess what they need, so we know which, we have 3 different levels. Level 1 is very basic for someone who really speaks no English whatsoever. Level 2 is more an intermediate. Maybe they speak some broken English and they need better grammar, better sentence structure as they string more words together.
Yes.
And then level 3 actually is more writing and business dialogue.
Okay.
So it kind of
Yes.
takes things to the next level for those who are
Okay.
trying to really enter a professional workforce.
Wow, that is wonderful. And then I know another component to your program is you teach computer skills, which is so
Yes.
very important. I should probably take some of that so I can become better at it myself. But computer and job skills,
Yes.
which is so, because even though you may now know the language, you may now have your high school diploma, but suppose if you're not very good with the computer.
We find a number of our students who just want to understand how to do Word and Excel, PowerPoint, Windows, Outlook, and email
Yes.
systems. But in addition, we do things like mock interviewing. Because if you're used to a very low level of employment and you've never had to sit through a more advanced interview, you're terrified.
Right. You fill out an application, there you go. But now you're sitting in front of someone interviewing.
That's right. And nowadays, most applications are no longer written applications. Like when I came through years ago, it is almost all online.
Exactly.
So if you don't have basic computer skills, you can't even apply for the jobs, much less find them.
That is so true.
So through job and computer skills training, hopefully we can teach our children how to find the jobs, teach our students how to apply for the jobs, and then how to interview for the jobs. And we work with them on building their resume as well, because that is so important to help them understand how to put a resume together and who to use as references and simple things that we take for granted.
It sounds like you work with them from the very beginning all the way up to leaving your program, going out there and applying for some jobs.
Whatever they need. Some people just need English as a second language. Some people need a combination. Some people just want their high set. We have many students who will finish their high set and go straight into the computer and job skills training because they desire both.
Talk about how someone goes about becoming a part of your program and what is their commitment.
Sure. So we offer 3 semesters a year. We find that most adults don't really want summers off like children do.
Exactly.
Because they're looking to better themselves and they're not looking for a break. So we take about 3 to 4 weeks in between semesters. But other than that, we are going year round. It is typically Monday and Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. because most of our students are working full-time jobs to support their families, and they need nighttime programming so that they can further themselves while providing for their families.
Absolutely.
So they commit to 4 hours a week.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad.
Who are the volunteers who work with the folks that you serve?
Yeah, we have close to 300 volunteers, and they come from every walk you could possibly think of. We have children that volunteer in our programs that work with us. Families will sometimes come together and do anything from serve a meal to our students. At several of our locations, we actually offer a meal 30 minutes prior to classes starting. We recognize that a number of our students are coming straight from work and picking up their children, and in order to get some sort of dinner in, if we can provide that dinner for them, then they're not hungry during classes, they're better focused during classes. So we try as much as possible to provide that free meal. So we'll have families come and serve a meal together once a month to our students before classes start. We have tutors that sit down and teach one of the different classes, and so
because you may need a little more one-on-one,
especially in the high set. The high set's very individualized because there are 5 subjects for the high set. You have math, science, social studies, reading, and writing.
Okay.
And so a lot of times that's on an individual level. If anything, there might be a class of maybe 3 students. If they're around the same level, a tutor will kind of take all of them at the same time. High set's a different ball game in that sense, and so we need volunteers all the time. Former teachers, retired teachers find great purpose at Begin Anew because they can do what they love for all these years, but they don't have homework to take home and grade. So it's fantastic.
It's perfect for teachers.
But even if you've never been a teacher, if you have a high school diploma yourself, you
can still volunteer.
You can still volunteer, and you are very qualified to teach someone else.
And there's many opportunities. I saw your list of different areas where you can volunteer. You know, lots of opportunities if you feel like that's something that you want to do, which is fantastic because everybody feels like they have their own sort of gifts or their skill set that they would feel comfortable in helping to participate with. So if someone wants to become a volunteer, what do they need to do?
So they email us.
Okay.
If you start by emailing us, we'll send you a volunteer application, and then depending on what area you're volunteering in, if you're volunteering in childcare or our mentoring program, so anything that's one-on-one, we always do background checks.
Good.
And so there's information you have to fill out for us to do a background check on you, and then we send you through training for whichever level of volunteering you want to be a part of.
I love it.
And we help you get involved, introduce you to the students.
You have lots of volunteers because one of the things I noticed is that you like to keep your classes small.
We do.
The folks can get more individualized attention that way, and I know they must love that because I know that there's a level of sort of embarrassment that goes along with that.
Absolutely. And shame.
And shame. That goes along with not being able to read or not having your diploma or what have you. Are you looking for the people to come into the program who are serious about it? And I would imagine that most of them are. But you are looking for that commitment from people who are serious about it.
Absolutely. And a lot of our students come to us word of mouth from former graduates.
Oh, really?
So we get a lot of students from word of mouth, a lot of churches, benevolence teams. If someone's continually coming back to a church asking for money over and over and over again, a church finds that, okay, there's something underlying that is a deeper issue. And so they will recommend students to us that way. And people find us online. If they just Google adult education, Begin Anew pops up, and so we find students, they find us. If they're really serious, they find us.
Well, we've got more we want to talk about, and you've got a success story that I definitely want us to share with everybody. So stay with us, and we'll be back with more right after this.